Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our apologies for the late start. We're just concluding our National Standing Committee meeting, and this press conference is going to be addressed by Vice President Biti. Over to you, sir.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are very honored that at short notice you have once again respected and honored us with your presence here for our press conference. As all of you are aware of, on the 11th of October 2021, last week on Monday, vehicles belonging to our party president, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, were attacked in Masvingo. One of his vehicles, Toyota Fortuner, was damaged very badly in the Charumbira area of Masvingo. The onslaught on our party leader and his convoy, as he conducts these Meet the People tours that started in Masvingo, is unprecedented. Only yesterday, the 19th of October 2021, his convoy was again attacked just outside Motare, around the Zimunya area, as he drove from Chichipinge. An unlawful ambush was mounted. Gunshots were fired, and one of the bullets actually whisked in the left rear seat, passenger seat, where he normally sits as a VIP. Throughout the day yesterday, he had about 12 vehicles following him and pursuing him. So it is quite clear, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a desperate attempt, a clear attempt to ensure that our party president does not meet Zimbabweans, does not access Zimbabweans. We condemn in the strongest terms the actions by ZANU-PF that are behind these unlawful attacks on our president, both in Masvingo and in Manicaland. In Masvingo, we are aware that some members of parliament of ZANU-PF actually organized rogue elements within the villages, waving some ill-written placards to prevent our president from talking to people, from meeting the people. But of course, the people know what they want. We saw massive crowds rushing to him, rushing to his convoy in Masvingo last week at places like Bikita, places like Nika, places like Gerera, places like Kwaroi. Yesterday as well, there were the massive crowds who greeted him at Bechnaf. Massive crowds were at Guhune, massive crowds were at Ngangu, massive crowds were at Chipinge at town center. The fact is, you can't stop change, you can't stop a revolution, you can't stop transformation when it is the hour of transformation. We are seriously concerned that the attacks on our president are consistent with the attacks that we have seen on our party. Since the 30th of March 2020, when that Supreme Court judgment was handed down, we have seen vicious attack on our party. The withdrawal of members of parliament, the withdrawal of councillors, the takeover of our party head office, the multiple charges brought against literally everyone of our top leadership, the vice presidents, the secretary general, the organizing secretary, virtually everyone who is here, our secretary for international relations, our esteemed mayor for Harare, Comrade Ngaapinde has just come out of prison. So we've seen the de facto banning of the MDC under the guise of COVID regulations. We are not allowed to have meetings. Under the guise of COVID regulations, we are not allowed to move across the length and breadth of Zimbabwe. Yet ZANU is moving. ZANU is organizing its own internal activities. Mr. Mnangagwa is opening tuck shops literally every day, and the crowds are attending those meetings. So it's a de facto ban of our movement, and the reason is very simple. Mr. Mnangagwa did not win the 2018 election. He elects legitimacy, so he's punishing us for winning and beating him in the 2018 election. But the bans have not succeeded. The takeover of Harvest House has not prevented us from breathing. The party is alive, the party is kicking, and should President Chamisa be allowed to have a rally anywhere in the country, there will be 200,000 people. Even goats and snakes will attend that rally. That is fact. This party is alive. This party is breathing. What concerns us is that ZANU appear to be graduating from a de facto physical ban to elimination, to assassination, attempts. So they are upping the gear, they are upping the ante, because they are more afraid of 2023 than they are of 2018. So we urge on state security agents to do the job that they are asked to do in terms of Section 205 and 206 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, which is to protect citizens, which is to protect lives, which is to protect ordinary men and women, not the interests of a narrow elite located in a political party. We are also aware that the attacks on our leader, the attacks on our political party are not unique to us. They are massive attacks on the people of Zimbabwe. The arrests that I've spoken of are also arrests that are taking place amongst ordinary citizens. As I'm talking to you right now, Makomborero Aruzivishe has been languishing at Chikurubi prison for months. Journalists are under attack. People like Hopo Chingono and others have spent months inside Chikurubi prison. Vendors, activists, no one is safe. But it's not just physical, violent attacks. It's also economic attacks. As I'm talking to you right now, the parallel exchange rate is almost 200. And there's no question that before the end of November 2021, it would have reached 400. The price of goods, have shot up. Inflation is back to literally 80% per month, which is the definition of hyperinflation. Civil servants are being paid in RTGS dollars when the price of goods is in US dollars or indexed in parallel market exchange rate at supermarkets like Bon Marché or OK Bazaars. 50% of our people are living in extreme poverty, according to the World Bank. Our own economics department puts that figure at 79%. You know this because these people are our parents, these people are our brothers, these people are our sisters. 79% of our people are living in extreme poverty, surviving on less than US $1.25 a day. We know what is happening in the townships. People are surviving on taona, 4 leaves of vegetable, a little coke of cooking fat. Life is bad. Teachers have literally not gone to work for the past 2 years because they can't withstand the onslaught by this regime. So citizens are suffering the physical brute violence of ZANU-PF and the physical brute violence of ZANU-PF's economic mismanagement, as well as the scourge of corruption. These people are stealing left, right, and center. Contracts are being awarded that runs into millions and millions of dollars without going to tender. Those contracts are being inflated. Zimbabwe now belongs to a few individuals, a few cartels that are owning Zimbabwe. But the citizens have a solution. The citizens have converged for change. And our message for citizen convergence on change has been accepted. And we want to take this opportunity to thank the people of Zimbabwe for accepting our message of change. We want to thank the thousands and thousands of Zimbabweans that are flocking to meet our president in every district, in every village that he is traveling to. The slogan and hashtag Ngaapinde Mukomana is burning in the country. People want change. People want transformation. Yet ZANU-PF have a different narrative, where the citizen and the Wananji is saying Ngaapinde Mukomana, ZANU is saying Ngauraiwe Mukomana. We say to the authorities, please stop this madness. Please stop this insanity. Uphold the decency of life. Uphold the dignity of being Zimbabwean that is codified in the constitution of Zimbabwe. On our part, as MDC Alliance, led by Advocate Nelson Chamisa, with his leadership, those that are present, others that are not here, in particular, our Vice President Lynette Karen-Kore, Vice President Welshman Ngube, our organizer Amos Chibaya, who is not here, our Secretary for Rural Mobilization, Comrade Hebmo Chidziva. Our message is very clear. We will remain defiant within the confines allowed by the Constitution, Section 59 of our Constitution. So our President will continue with his meetings across the length and breadth of the country. We've also deployed other leaders, senior leaders of our party to the provinces as well. So you will see massive activity of our party in the rural areas because we cannot sit and fold our hands as the crisis bends, and we can't give ZANU-PF a blank check to insult and assault the people of Zimbabwe. We have a message to the international community, and our message is very simple. The regime of impunity and unaccountability continues in Zimbabwe. The people that destroyed our president's car last week, no one has been arrested. Yet there are videos that show the people committing the vandalism. There are videos of members of parliament of ZANU-PF doing what they are doing. So the culture of impunity, the culture of indifference continues. We call for the respect to the rule of law. We call for respect to constitutionalism. We call for the respect of human rights and human dignity. Our communities are under attack, and they too need to be defended. As I'm talking to you right now, citizens in Mutoko are under assault by alleged Chinese investors who are busy molesting their traditional lands, their heritage, their history. Citizens, the Hlengwe community in Chilonga, are facing the same fate. The people of Chinamora, Domboshawa, are facing the same fate from gold dealers. The people in Inde, Wange, Matebeleland are facing the same fate. The people in Checheche and other parts of Manicaland are also facing the same fate from Billy Rottenberg and these green fuels company. So communities must defend themselves, legal remedies. Communities are entitled to say no. So in conclusion, I want to call upon the international community, in particular SADC, that the situation in Zimbabwe is burning, that a soft landing needs to be created, and the only thing that will create a soft landing is genuine dialogue by the two principal organizations in this country, the MDC Alliance and ZANU-PF, and by the two principal actors in this country, Mr. Mnangagwa and Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Anything else is just a side show, and you know that I'm referring to Poland. It's an important side issue. That dialogue must focus on the reforms. We need reforms to the Electoral Act, the restoration of the integrity of the Constitution. We need to go back to the Constitution as it was in 2013. Media reforms, it is a crime, ladies and gentlemen, that 41 years after independence, Zimbabwe still has one broadcasting house, Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, ZBC, which annually wins awards for best broadcasting house. It competes with itself. We need community radio stations. Put simply, we need reform. The alignment of the laws to the country's constitution. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, that we citizens play our part, that we have our own agency. As Bob Marley once saying, none but ourselves are our own liberators. So we say once more, thank you to Zimbabweans for standing with our president and for standing with our party, the Movement for Democratic Change Alliance. I thank you very much.
Thank you, VP. I think for the statement, we can go to the question and answer segment if there are questions on this issue, and then we can call it a day. Yes, Blessed. Yes.
Yes. My name is Blessed Mkana from Arkansas. If you have noticed on social media, there's been a comparison of bullet holes in the whole, the picture that appears on the car that alleged was shot by a gun. Can you explain the questions that are coming around where people are saying this is not what a bullet hole looks like? They allege that it was not a bullet hole and it was not staged. It is actually staged. Can you explain that concept?
That's it.
Okay,
Yes.
my name is Condemning from DMC. Mr. Biti, last time your president was attacked last week, and he has also been attacked in the past. So what action is the party going to take over the continuous attack on the president?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm Leopold Mende from newzimbabwe.com. We have talked to the police, asked questions on what action will be taken on those who, to use the right word, assaulted the MDC Alliance president. My question is, has the MDC Alliance reported the matter at police stations? Because the police spokesperson says they have no such report, we do not know anything, or seeing it on social media and stuff like that.
Yes, last question. Oh, it was the same question. Okay.
Yeah, well, reports have been made to the Zimbabwe Republic Police in Manicaland. And in any event where there is a clear assault has happened in Manicaland, the police can't wait for a report. They have to be proactive and they have to do their job. Their primary duty is to protect citizens. Their primary duty is to protect property. That is enshrined in the Constitution. So we have done that. The question you asked, Pindai, look, it's a question we are constantly answering. The party will protect itself within its capabilities, but we are ordinary citizens, unarmed citizens. There's a limit to which we can defend ourselves. So we can't defend ourselves against bullets, against lawlessness. Otherwise, we'd have to change our name from the MDC Alliance to Zimbabwe's Liberation Movement, and change our head office from 44 Nelson Mandela to somewhere in the bush, and we have no intention of doing that. Which is why I've called for external referee in the form of SADC. We have a duty to protect life, we have a duty to preserve life, we have a duty to make sure that our differences are managed, and they are managed through dialogue. Zimbabwe is not the only country that has elections. Only a few months ago, Mr. Mnangagwa was in Zambia celebrating the victory of democracy. Yet he doesn't see the irony that here back at home he is stifling that. People, there's violence, by-elections can be done. The irony escapes him when he goes to places like Zambia or Malawi where democracy is flourishing. Dara's question, ZANU has always blamed the victims. It didn't start with us. If you have studied the history of Gugura Humbe, constantly Joshua Ngomo and Zapu were blamed. As I'm talking to you right now, Joanna Mamombe, Cecilia Chimbiri, and Netsai Maroa are facing a crime of having abducted themselves. So we are not going to entertain and go into false narratives. The president was attacked not just yesterday, but also in the machine. But that's not the first time we've been assaulted over and over again. The same man was assaulted and brutalized at the Harare International Airport on the 18th of March 2007. On the 11th of March 2007, Moge Trangira and others were butchered at the police station. We were blamed. So the blame game is the language of fascists, the language of dictators. There's nothing new. It didn't start with Emerson, and it won't end with Emerson.
Okay, we can have the last round. Yes. And then you want a second bite of the share. Okay.
My name is Lucy Yassin. I'm a freelance journalist. I just wanted to know if there is going to be any legal process that the party is going to take against themselves.
Thank you.
Well, we had an interview with the ZANU-PF. They said that you are doing this to attract the attention of the UN rapporteur on sanctions. Would you mind to take us in confidence? Are you going to meet the UN rapporteur, and are you going to use everything that happened this week as part and parcel of your evidence of grievances against the regime?
The last question. The last question.
Blessed Tang again from Hutchinson City.
Why do you miss the same Dara?
Okay, Dara here again. Can you just explain to us, because we saw a video of where this shooting allegedly happened. Now, we wanted to know why at that particular time people were taking a video. Were they expecting that the gunshot to happen that particular time? What exactly was happening?
Yeah, but that's easy. I mean, people always take videos when our president is around. His status is bigger than that of a pop star. So people always take videos. You know that. And these days everyone is a journalist. I mean, look at all of you. You all have smartphones. So everyone has just become a journalist. Our president is loved by the people. Everyone wants a selfie with him. Each time I move with him, you have to run away because everyone wants a selfie. So it's natural. He is loved by the people. He's in people's hearts. Unlike the other men even children will run away from him. I saw a little child with his hands in his pocket. So if you're loved by the people, you're loved by the people. You're loved by the people. Our message to the rapporteur, the facts of Zimbabwe speak for themselves. The facts of Zimbabwe speak for themselves. There is violence, which did start on the 11th of October, which didn't start yesterday, the 21st of October. There is impunity and abuse of the rule of law. I've referred to Mako Komborero Arusivisi. What has he done? I've referred to the vicious persecution of Joanna Mamombe, Netsai Maroa, and Cecilia Chimbiri. I've referred to previous cases of abductions. Where is Itai Zamara right now? Where is Patrick Namabadi? And I'll refer to many reports, independent reports, prepared including by the UN itself on violence in Zimbabwe. Starting from way back, Kukura Hundi, Operation Mrambachina, Operation Mrambachina, and the brilliant report prepared by Mrs. Tabaijuka, a UN report around the 2008 violence, a report around the violence connected with the land reform program, the report of the Motlande Commission on violence that happened on the 1st of August 2018, reports on violence and murders that happened in January of 2019. So, if so this rapporteur, I'm sure, would have read the literature. There is violence in Zimbabwe, there is impunity in Zimbabwe, there is lawlessness in Zimbabwe. We take exception to the suggestion that we are creating drama. Suppose President Chamisa had gone to Mashingo and ZANU had done nothing. It wouldn't have been in the news. Just like it's not in the news that Mr. Timber drove from his beautiful house in Mount Pleasant and got here. So they are putting people, they are assaulting us. And when they assault us, they can't accuse us of drama. If you plant a storm, you reap the whirlwinds, and they are just reaping the whirlwinds. You see your question. You know, we are tired of the courts. We are tired of the courts. The courts have been weaponized. The courts have been emasculated. So we are not saying we are abandoning the courts completely, but we are tired of the courts. That's why we've called for citizen agents. The Constitution allows that a citizen agent peacefully and constitutionally. And the communities will come out, as I've said, they've converged. Citizens have converged for change. Citizens have converged around the President Chamisa. And the regime knows it. That's why it can't call for elections. Because when you call for elections, you see the result. It will be a disaster for Mr. Mnangagwa and his friends that we used to work with. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. And I think that brings a close to our press conference. Thank you.